Hey everybody, I'm Arthur.
And I'm Jared, and you're listening to.
Unheard of.
Brought to you by
All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we are. We took our very first ever break. Needed a week for the holidays, but here we are once again. It's your two favorite boys. I'm Jared. To the side of my screen is ABG. How are you doing this week, man?
I'm all right, bro. Just trying to stay COVID free and as safe as possible.
Yeah, and speaking of COVID, before we talk about our quick Thanksgiving holidays, you want to discuss what happened after Thanksgiving for you?
Well, actually, this happened the night before Thanksgiving.
Mm.
During Thanksgiving, like the next day. So I get off work the night before Thanksgiving, and I start feeling like I have a huge headache coming on, and I'm like, oh man. And I start feeling the fever and stuff, and I'm like, yo, I probably am getting COVID. And then I wake up the next day on Thanksgiving, and I'm talking about my head is thumping. I got the fever. My throat is dry. Like I'm like, yo, I'm about to die, bro. It's over for me. AG has COVID. He's getting out. He's out of the game. RIP. But but no, I actually went and took a test and I didn't have COVID.
Yeah, and yeah, for all the listeners, your throat was pretty sore. So that was actually one of the factors that led to us not recording during the holidays last week.
That's true. Like I could barely talk, bro. Like it was that bad.
Yeah. And I was busy with family too, but, it was best. We've never had a break before. So it turned out okay for Thanksgiving. We'll probably take another one for Christmas or something, spend time with the family.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I just like it was pretty sad to me because I had this whole Thanksgiving planned out. Like, uh, my girlfriend was coming, and uh, we were gonna, have dinner with my mom and everybody, and then I was gonna go to her mom's house and have dinner and stuff, and it just threw a damp on that because I didn't want to get everybody sick.
Understand. And you were basically kind of worried because you had a family member that tested positive, that's close to you in your household. And did you think maybe there were some like precautions not taken since everybody talks about wearing masks and everything else?
Well, the crazy thing is, we kind of took precautions. Like, if they were using the bathroom and stuff, then we would like disinfect everything and say got take out some food or something like that. I would leave it at their door and they would come and get it. We didn't really have that much contact. So, I mean, so I think we did everything good because I mean, I didn't end up contracting COVID-19. So,
Yeah, I don't know. It almost sounds like you had it, and in a way you tested negative. So, hey, who knows? I've had to get tested before, and it's not fun. It's not fun, anyways. But
well, the worst part about my test is I had to give the test to myself. So I was sitting in my car, just in the CVS parking lot, just like with the swabs up my nose, and like I didn't know if I was pushing it far enough or anything like that. And so,
No, okay, so you went up your nose, right?
yeah.
Okay, dude. I'm just gonna say this right now. I think you probably had COVID. Because if you went straight up your nose, that's like not the proper way to administer that test.
Well, like I mean, I didn't like go straight up my nose, but like they told me to, stick it in there, swab it around, and hold it for like 15 seconds or whatever. And I mean, I did all that, and I mean, it came back negative.
I'm just gonna say, like, so I've had two tests, and here's basically a picture for anybody that is, and I know that anybody that's had an actual test administered to them by like doctors, this is kind of how it goes. So the swab shouldn't really go directly up your nose, right? It's supposed to go. Crap, this webcam is killing me. Hold on. It's supposed to go like that. Yeah. So I know
So
it's not gonna.
that's like all the way in the back of somebody's nose.
Yeah, yeah. You're supposed to go at like an angle downwards, but basically, and this is something I learned when I was in the army and I had to do medical courses. Um, that sideways, there's an airway right here going from your nose down, and it's called the nasopharyngeal airway, or an NPA. And when I've had the COVID test administered, they go down that way every single time. So it's not like up, but it's more so like down to the side. And the rapid testing I've gotten done, that doctor basically murdered me because he was just like stabbing me. And the state test I got done from a Colorado urgent care, they just went really nice and slow, which is much better than what the rapid test was for me. But yeah, on a self-administered test, I'm telling you, this is every test I've gotten so far, and I've taken 3 COVID tests this year. It was going this way, like in your nose and down. It wasn't ever like a swab up.
Oh well, I don't know. Maybe I did have it.
Maybe I'm just saying. Now that you say it was like self-administered, I think more. I think more along the lines that you probably had it and you just administered your test wrong.
I mean, I was only sick for like 3 days, so
I mean, hey, there's people that test positive and they're like symptom free, so you never know. I'm just saying that
that's true. That's true.
based off the fact that somebody in your household tested positive and you administered your own test, but you was having all the symptoms, I would probably lean towards that you had it.
Well, I mean, I still took the necessary precautions. I mean, I never really left my room. I definitely didn't leave my house.
Yeah,
So
I mean, hey, the good news is you're fine, but I didn't know that part of the story that you administered it yourself, and
yeah,
now I'm
yeah,
thinking,
no, it was garbage.
yeah, yeah. Now I'm telling you, the very first test I had, um, they tell me to sit outside the urgent care, and the doctor who takes the test, she came out in like a full hazmat suit, dude. I'm just sitting there in a chair, and she's like in a hazmat suit. She's got the little swabs and everything, and she was the nicest. She was the nicest person that administered a test for me because the second doctor I had, he came in there. I think he was just wearing some latex gloves, but no, I don't even think he was wearing a face mask because we were in Cheyenne when I took that test, and there's no mask mandate in Wyoming, so uh, he just like swabbed the heck out of me a couple times.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, mom was self-administered, so she just handed me the pack, gave me like a 15-second rundown of what I should do, and was like, "Get to it."
Nah, we're gonna start printing out shirts that said ABG had COVID.
Listen, even though I always say wear a mask and stuff, you can still get COVID even with the masks.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it doing anything now. So, uh, but yeah, man, how was well, I guess your Thanksgiving kind of sucked in that sense, not being able to do anything.
It was. It
So
was.
we
What
didn't
about you?
uh,
How was yours?
we didn't really do anything special. My sister Molly was in town, um, and typically every single year we'll get a turkey from Honey Baked Ham. I'll buy like some turkey that they make in the store, and you have to pick it up like the day before. But it's really good. And we never really cook our own turkeys. It seems like a long process. But this year I missed the order for honey baked ham, so I could not go pick it up the day before. And so Thanksgiving came around. They were closed, obviously. So we ended up with my wife, our two boys, and Molly. We got McDonald's and we went to the mountains and had a nice Thanksgiving dinner.
A nice Thanksgiving picnic of McDonald's in the mountains.
Yeah. Uh, Surprisingly more nice than you'd think. It wasn't our typical Thanksgiving, but man, it was pretty nice. But at the end of the day, as long as you're with family, that's really all that counts.
Exactly. And that's really what I like about holidays. And that's what I felt like I was robbed of this Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And I've seen a bunch of politicians in the news lately that's not getting a lot of coverage, of course, but um, politicians that were traveling after telling the residents of their counties and cities not to during Thanksgiving.
Oh, I saw a map of people traveling for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was it was so many people, so many planes going in and out of everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Um,
man, it's crazy.
well, like, California's governor was caught without a mask at a party for people over 50. And that didn't really make headline news. All he said was, I've just got to do better. And the news forgot about it, even though he just imposed new restrictions on restaurants and everything, and he was having a party with people over 50. And then the mayor of Denver, down here, surprisingly, he has, I don't know what the backstory is, but his wife and kids are located in Missouri, and he had literally told the residents of Denver to stay inside and not make any travel plans for the holidays. He was caught at the airport getting ready to board a plane to go see his wife and his family in Missouri. And then, of course, when he's asked about it, he's like, "Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about it. I had already made these plans, and so I was just going to travel to see my family since they're in Missouri." But yeah, what about everybody else in Denver, dude? You're telling your residents to not travel, and all these politicians are looking like hypocrites.
Yeah, man, sounds like some new moves are being made on their parts.
Like, I mean, uh, it's kind of dumb, because even the governor of New York, Cuomo, was gonna have his like 89-year-old mother come into town before people started criticizing him, and he canceled those plans. Like, just stop being a hypocrite. You know that you want to travel to see your families during the holidays, and all the other citizens are going to do it, so you might as well just say, travel safely.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't stop anybody from traveling. Of course, if it's open, they're gonna do it.
Yeah, and even now, like, my my airline that I typically fly on, Southwest, starting this month, December 1st, they had an open middle seat policy, and they were the last ones to keep it in place. But even starting in December, they removed it because everybody's looking to travel for the holidays, and the airlines aren't going to get rid of that money because they lost a ton earlier this year. So, yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's probably gonna be worse during Christmas.
Wow.
The county in the county we live in, it shut all the restaurants back down, and the schools, and there's like no timetable on it, but it happened right before Thanksgiving, so we're kind of assuming it's just at least until the New Year's after everybody's done traveling.
Yeah, most likely.
So
I mean, ain't nothing really changed around here. So I mean,
yeah,
there's I see less and less people wearing masks every day. So
well, you give it another month and everybody in Georgia will have already had COVID, so they probably won't need them.
true.
So,
Especially me. I guess I did have COVID. So
yeah, you probably did. You probably did. Uh, yeah, man. I could go all day because I'm taking precautions out here, but I'm also not going to be a hypocrite. So I could go off all day about these politicians who are being hypocritical of their own policies.
yeah.
But I mean, hey, that is what it is. You know what? What else did we have on the docket today?
We're gonna talk about those mysterious monoliths that's been popping up everywhere.
That's true. That's true. The first one occurred in Utah. That was found just from what was it? They were just counting bighorn sheep in their helicopters, the state, and they just happened to see like this reflection in the desert, so they go down and find the monolith.
Yeah, and like, are there any writings on it, or is it just like a structure?
No, it's typically just. I mean, it's literally just like a triangular steel monolith. If you've ever seen, have you ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, like the old 1968 film?
No.
Yeah, it basically looks the exact same as the monolith that appeared in that movie, which was why everybody thought that the person that probably put it there in the first place was just a fan of the movie. And if I can pull it up.
Oh, okay. I mean, the only Kubrick movie I've ever seen is the Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah. No, man. That's from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
So,
But I mean, it's more than just in Utah. You said there's one in Romania.
yeah, there's one in Romania that popped up, and California and Colorado now, except the one in Utah that was originally found has been since removed. They
But what do you? So you think it's just people of the movie? I mean, not people of the movie, but people that are fans of the movie.
I think the first one was. I think the one that was initially discovered in Utah, probably just a fan of the film, because the backdrop in that desert in Utah is kind of similar to how it looks in the movie. So I think it's very possible that the original artist or whoever you want to call it that put it there, probably just a fan of the movie. The one that was discovered in Romania and California, and possibly Colorado, are more than likely copycats, in my opinion. But you can't rule out Colorado being the original artist just because of the geographical location with Utah being so close. Um, so you can't really rule it out that the one in Colorado was the original artist, but the ones in California and Romania, they kind of look a little too different to me from the Utah one. So I think those are probably just copycats of the Utah artist.
If they're copycats, like how fast are people making these these monoliths?
I mean, if they've got a wood shop where they can cut sheet metal and weld and do things like that, I don't think it would take more than like what 10 to 12 hours to build one of these monoliths. They don't seem that complicated. The most complicated part probably seems putting it in the ground.
Okay,
So I mean, hey, I'm not a
because
construction,
I'm hoping
Hmm?
I'm hoping nothing more than that. It's like some elaborate rollout for a new Kanye West album.
Isn't it like I mean, I don't know if he's made a sequel since, but isn't he working on like a new Jesus is King album or something like that?
Supposedly,
Maybe his next album will be called
you
Kanye
know,
2024.
he ended up being number one.
On what?
He ended up being number one on Billboard 200 gospel artists.
Wow. Uh, that's not surprising. That's really not.
All right, hey, give me a second, dog. I'll be right back.
All right. I mean, yeah, the Kanye West thing, it doesn't really surprise me because I think a lot of uh, people that listen to like the gospel and Christian albums listen to normal music anyways, like pop, rap, hip hop, all that. So the fact that when you have an artist, especially of like Kanye's stature, recording an album like that, it doesn't surprise me that he made it to the top.
That's true. That's true. I wonder if gospel artists feel slighted, you know, in a little bit because, like, I mean, he comes from making this, from just traditional hip hop, and it's not considered gospel. I mean, even though it does have traces of, of God being in his life and stuff like that, but now it being so prevalent in his music that he doesn't even cuss. And I mean, he named his album Jesus is King. So, I mean, I don't know. If I was a gospel artist, I'd be like, how's he just going to come up in here and do what we do?
Like I said, man, it's not surprising. I think, especially if about the the big church names where I don't think these pastors and like gospel singers, at least the really famous ones, are in it for the right reasons. I think a lot of them are in it for the money, anyways. And to me,
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, hey, Kanye might be crazy, but I mean, as far as like a Christian standpoint, he's kind of like that person you want to see happen, anyways. Like, if you're a Christian, you shouldn't be doing anything except rooting for the guy because you're supposed to want everybody to come to the gospel, anyways.
Yep, that's true. I mean, yeah, you ain't lying.
That's what they're supposed to do. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but that's what you're supposed to do.
That's right. That's right.
So, I mean, hey, you know how it is. But anyways, we've got a pretty short podcast for you folks here on our return from Thanksgiving and the holidays. As we all know, Arthur and I are quite the Star Wars fans. Even today, I've got my shirt back on from the anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. Our boy ABG.
Yes, sir.
Which
Yes,
Which
sir. Star
which movie is
Wars.
that? Is that based off one of the episodes?
That that looks like kind of like the original, kind of like posters or something, maybe for Star Wars.
I was gonna say it almost looks like it nearly looks like Empire Strikes Back because I don't think it's New Hope.
Yeah, like it doesn't have a movie, name on it. It just
Yeah,
says Star Wars.
I mean, hey. And speaking of Star Wars, spoiler alerts if necessary. If you watch The Mandalorian, that's about to be the topic we're getting into in the final minutes here. Um, we're quite the fans of The Mandalorian. And this past episode, what was it, 6 on the season? Because now there's 2 left.
It is. There's two more
So
left.
it was it was quite the episode. I had a fun time watching it, even though it was only like 23 minutes.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the newest episode, or if you haven't watched the season at all, you might as well turn it off because we're about to get spoiler heavy right now. I hope you enjoyed the show up to this point because we're about to get into it. But you said you enjoyed the episode, right?
I did. Yeah, it was really fun to watch.
I mean, I loved it too. And then like my, I feel like kind of my favorite part of the episode, like screw all the Star Wars lore that happened. I was I was excited to see who it was directed by.
Oh yeah,
Rodriguez. Yeah, man.
I think he even came out and said that he wasn't the first choice to direct that episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember what he said, but I just read an article the other day where he lamented over the fact that he was not the original choice to direct that one.
Oh man, I wonder who their first choice was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, hey, we can look it up while we're talking here. I can I can look it up. I don't know if it says who if he mentioned anybody that was the favorite, but I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, well, yeah, I thought he did a great job. It was one of my favorite episodes, and really just because of what he got to show. I mean, a huge point in Star Wars lore. Boba Fett coming back and getting his, his armor back.
Yeah, that moment was really cool. Yep. So I'm on the article right now from Screen Rant, and Robert Rodriguez reveals he was last minute replacement, and the director was unnamed, but basically they left the show, and so they brought him on really quick to direct it.
Wow.
So
Huh. I wonder why they left. That's got to be crazy.
maybe something bigger happened or creative
Like that's a
differences.
yeah, probably the creative differences, but that's a huge placement to have.
I mean, hey, in my mind, if Robert Rodriguez can handle Spy Kids, I want him on for The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's got some movie coming out, right? We Can Be Heroes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a sequel to Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Well, I don't think it's a sequel. I think they're in it, but it's
Yeah,
more.
I mean, I think the main character is like their child.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure.
So
I mean,
that's a sequel,
eh, kind of, sort of.
a spiritual successor.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of
Um,
Spy
okay,
Kids,
so
or no, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, I just got to point out that Robert Rodriguez has props in my book for making the craziest movie villain that you ever see in George Lopez in that big screen CGI body.
oh yeah, George Lopez. Oh yeah, that was definitely classic. But so I mean, this doesn't really have much to do with this newer episode. It's more like last week. What did you think? What do you think of Baby Yoda's name?
Oh yeah, Grogu. Grogu. Sorry.
Grogu.
Yeah, I'm already slipping it up. Uh, well, I don't know about like the history of his name, but honestly, uh, it's actually better in my opinion that he finally has a name, so they can start actually calling him something other than a kid or a child. And coming back to this week's episode, like literally the first 2 minutes is like Din, who some may have forgotten, but that's the name of the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, Din Djarin.
Yeah, because they don't mention it. I think they've only said it like once or twice in the entire series, and it was in season 1.
Yeah.
But basically, him and Grogu were having like this really father-son moment, like at the beginning of the episode already. It's like,
Oh, that was a cute back and forth, dude.
yeah, it was already like better for.
When he's just like,
yeah,
when he's just like saying his name over again. He's like Grogu, and then he keeps looking up, and he's like, nice.
yeah, and so yeah, that was like a. It was kind of like a nice father-son moment. I'm surprised. Well, I guess I'm not surprised because Jon Favreau, he's not really afraid to pull the all the stops when it comes to this series. But when they blew up the Razor Crest at the end of the episode, I'm like, good lord! I said they stripping my man Din of everything.
My heart, bro. Like not only did his newly adopted son get abducted by the Empire and Moff Gideon, but they blew up the Razor Crest. Like I couldn't believe they did that.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised. And if we're going to talk about opinions, and maybe we can have a guest back on next week to discuss the Mandalorian and everything else with us. But if I had to guess off a direction where I see the show headed, I think anybody could guess that Grogu's not gonna leave with the Jedi. Like I don't think a Jedi is gonna take him at all, because him and Din are obviously meant to be. But I would suggest that for the first time we're actually gonna see like a Mandalorian kind of join the Jedi.
Well, I mean, there was already a Mandalorian that was a Jedi.
Which one?
That's how the dark saber
Oh yeah.
came about.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the saber that Moff Gideon has is the old dark saber that I mean I forget their name, but it was a Mandalorian that was a Jedi.
But that's not in like movie culture yet, right? It was just the Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah, it was in Clone Wars, but I think they told. I mean, the story goes all the way back to like the legends.
Yeah. I think. I think that's where the show's headed. I think Din's probably going to end up in the ways of the Jedi and sticking with Grogu.
Yeah, but I mean, he would have to figure out if he's force sensitive or not, right?
I mean, I guess so. Does it even matter anymore? I mean, technically, all these people that even have the Force, 50% of the Jedi turn to the dark side anyways.
That's true. A lot of them do.
So, if that's what the prequels taught us, it's like never trust a Jedi on the council to begin with.
Um, but back to sorry, kind of go back to Grogu. I like his name so much because I mean, the only he's one of the only three of his species that's kind of like official canon that's been shown a lot, and that's Yoda, Yaddle, and
Yep.
now Grogu.
Yeah. I like it. I like the name a lot.
And like that, I don't know. I just feel like they have perfect names for their species.
The the previous episode though with Ahsoka, you know, she kind of suggested that Grogu has been training for a while before like the injury and everything else happened, where he was taken away and used for like the DNA and experiments. Uh, she kind of
Oh yeah, I
suggests,
mean, what he's like 200 years old, right?
yeah, I'm not sure at what rate their species gets older, you know, because he's still like a baby.
Yoda was like thousands of years old.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure he was. I mean, you can look it up, but I'm pretty sure like Grogu is like 200 years old or something because Ahsoka said that he was trained by many Jedi.
Says Yoda was 900
Oh, 900. Okay.
at his age of death.
I thought he hit a couple thousand.
Nope. So I guess they don't live that long.
So how old is Grogu then? Cause I thought it was a couple hundred years, but it might have been 100.
Uh, Wiki says Wiki says he's about 50 years old.
Is it 50?
Yeah.
Yo, I gotta take the Star Wars shirt off because I thought I had the official news and I was wrong on both of their ages. Jesus Christ.
Nah, it's fine. I mean, hey, that's okay. It's probably been a while. I haven't watched I haven't watched the original trilogy in quite a while. It's probably been over a year at this point.
That's true. Okay, so after I watched that last week's episode with Ahsoka,
Yeah.
I finished up the last season of Clone Wars, and then I watched the prequel movies. Like I've been kind of Star Wars out for the past week.
What made you want to watch the prequel movies?
Well, just because it's the same time period as Clone Wars.
I uh I like there's only there's basically like two characters I like in the entire prequel. Actually, we'll go three because I kind of like Obi-Wan. I mean, he's an honorable mention for me, but most of the prequel is just bland story. Um, I think Ewan McGregor, he's going to do a way better job when it comes to his series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But like Hayden Christensen when he's Dark Anakin in Revenge of the Sith is really good to me. I mean, the dude is just ruthless. He's out here killing kids. He gets his legs chopped off at the end of the film, and he's just like burning to death before he becomes Darth Vader. uh, so I like that, and Darth Maul.
Yeah, I just wish they kind of use Maul more
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the prequels, and that's why I like the Clone Wars so much because they were able to really flesh out his character. And
yeah,
so by the end of Clone Wars, not gonna lie, you're kind of rooting for Darth Maul,
yeah.
which is wild. Have you finished the last season?
No,
Have you watched any of the Clone Wars?
I've watched like one season, dude.
Well, basically, kind of like at the end of Clone Wars, uh, Darth Maul kind of has this vision of Anakin turning to the dark side, and this whole like he pretty much sees Order 66 happening and everything, and he figures out that Palpatine's true self, and so he kind of tries to he tries to prevent that.
Hmm.
And I'm like, man, I mean, I know he's not, but I kind of hope that Darth Maul succeeds.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard obviously even good things about it from you. I just gotta start watching it and be able to finish it. I mean, I'll probably have time soon after the holidays, but
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, man, it's the Mandalorian's really good, and like I said, the prequel movies. I think George Lucas got ahead of himself with using CGI when he figured out he could do it, because the prequels just have like this weird mess of CGI overuse,
Oh
and
yeah, for sure.
the fights historically, with the exception of Obi-Wan and Anakin at the end, they get way worse than they were in the original trilogy.
Mm,
Like when
I don't know about
Anakin,
that.
what? Like when Anakin is facing Count Dooku, and he basically like cuts the lights off, so all you see is their faces and the lights in the dark. They're
That's
not
pretty
even
cool.
they're not even fighting. You're just seeing their face.
It looks cool.
I think you need to go back and watch it after we get done recording because it's not that cool. Go to YouTube and check out like 10 seconds of it. It's not really that good.
But man, my favorite character of the prequels, of course, dude.
Don't say CGI Yoda.
Misa Jar Jar Binks.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
You go with the most offensive character on the list.
Dude, I love Jar Jar, dude.
He's such an idiot.
Yeah, but he's a lovable idiot.
I don't think he's as offensive as people make him out to be, but he wouldn't be my favorite character.
You're right. But no, I mean, just because of like he has this sheer like dumb luck, and he's just hilarious. He's a bumbling fool.
It's true. It's true.
And then he like somehow like fails upward to be able to have a seat on the in the Senate.
It happens.
Listen, I'm trying to fail upwards like that.
And honestly, you see instances of TV characters like that where people fail upwards. But it actually happens because I know terrible leaders, that keep getting promoted and everything, and I just don't know how it happens.
Uh, I don't know, the biggest fail upwards, maybe our 45th president.
I mean, did he fail upwards? I thought his first campaign was pretty good as far as strategy.
And I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with that, but I don't know. I feel like he fell upwards.
I don't think he was equipped for the job, but he 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 knew his base pretty well. He knew how to campaign.
That's true. But
So,
so what did you think of seeing Ahsoka in live action form, played by Rosario Dawson?
she was pretty good. Yeah, I thought she was really good in the role. I hope, because I know they're doing a Mandalorian prequel series. I don't know if it's actually going to be based on the Mandalorian still, but I think with Rosario Dawson being so good, she definitely needs to have like some type of bigger role in a series here.
I mean, the Clone Wars was basically almost told through her eyes,
Yeah,
and I think she has a pretty big role in Rebels. I mean, I haven't seen Rebels yet, but I mean, of course, those are well, in Clone Wars, it's her being young, and then she gets old, and she's older in Rebels.
yep.
But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would want them to take the Mandalorian like prequel show in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, they've referenced it in the Mandalorian and even in a few series where they talk about like the Mandalorian civil wars and everything else, like basically the history of their culture.
Oh
And I
yeah,
don't. I wonder if they're developing a series to kind of focus on the Fets and like the civil wars for the Mandalorians.
yeah. I mean, that would be a really good show.
Yeah,
And or maybe they could bring the story of the dark saber to live action.
yeah, they probably could. I yeah, they probably could. They probably could. Although I
But
mean, as far as like film lore goes, it's really kind of neat to see the changing sides of the Mandalorians because historically they're not really on like the good side most of the time.
yeah, not really. I mean, they had a very big falling out with the Jedi. So
Yeah. So I mean, hey, I don't know, but God, what's her name? I'm trying to think of the other episode,
are you
Bo-Katan.
talking about Bo-Katan?
Yeah, with Katie Sackhoff. What'd you think about
Yeah,
her?
I mean, because I've watched Clone Wars, seeing that character, older and just brought to life on screen. I was geeking out.
I hear that the prequel series they're developing actually involves Bo-Katan.
I mean, that's gonna make me even happier.
Yeah, and Katie Sackhoff, man, she's a really good actress. She
Oh
can,
yeah,
I think she'd be really good. Now, there was a series on Netflix where she just played a role, and it was called like Almost Home or Away, something like that. Another sci-fi thing where she's some captain on a spaceship, and they're leaving their families to go make alien contact. Uh, that series was not good, and I am glad that it got canceled because I couldn't even make it past the first episode. Their whole thing was they called it. It was like it's like Lost in Space, but R-rated because all of our astronauts cuss. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make the show good.
yeah. That's not gonna make it good.
So it was a god awful show, but I do like a lot of Katie Sackhoff's work. Um, and so I think she'd be
That's
really good in The Mandalorian as like a lead character playing like Bo-Katan in a prequel series.
oh yeah. That's like saying Logan is the best X-Men movie just because he can cuss in there.
Yeah, and it's not the case because like making a film R-rated doesn't make it better. Like
Yeah, absolutely not.
the story still has to be good.
Yeah, and I mean, Logan was a case of it being R-rated and still being a really good story.
It's true. And now that we're on the topic of R-rated films, and maybe we'll circle back to the Mandalorian real quick after this, but they are saying that Deadpool 3 is finally in development at Marvel, and it is planned.
Finally, yeah.
It is planned to be rumored, planned to be R-rated still.
I feel like they would be doing themselves even more than themselves. They'll be doing their fans a disservice to try to come in and change any of that
I think it.
because what
I
they
mean,
were doing with those films, like it obviously worked very well. So if they thought that they would come in and change it and make it something totally different, I mean, they would just lose a lot of people with that.
yeah, I mean, and didn't Deadpool and Deadpool 2 make like the most money an R-rated film has ever made, like across the
Yeah,
globe?
yeah.
So, I think it would have been dumb to make Deadpool like PG-13. And at some point, the bigger that Disney gets, you have to think, when are they going to stop caring about like the family scene? Because they own so many properties and movies and films. Like I'm actually appalled at how much they've censored things on Disney Plus because of how it aired previously in theaters and on TV. There's got to be like some form of content where you can say, hey, this is like an adult profile, or we're going to have this section of movies called like Marvel, Marvel Black or something, kind of like DC's doing in their color sections, where you can just say, hey, this is Marvel Black, these films are going to be R-rated, and that's just how it is. But because Disney is still like tagged to it, I think they're so afraid of people being offended and everything. But they're getting to a point where they own a lot of stuff to be worried about offending people. I mean, they're already talking about merging Hulu now with Disney Plus.
Well, I mean, what? Disney already technically owns Hulu, right?
Yeah, they own like 70% of the shares, so they basically own it.
Yeah, I was saying. I mean, because you already get a bundle of Hulu and Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, and because Disney owns pretty much all of ESPN too.
And they just bought out Fox, not their news, but all their movies and TV properties. So,
and yeah, Fox had already had a deal with Hulu, and
yeah.
that was pretty much just icing on the cake.
Yeah, I just think at some point they gotta be they shouldn't be afraid to have adult content, just because of how much they own. You know, like to me, the Marvel series on Netflix, where those are R-rated, huge success in my opinion. Like I would love for another season of like The Punisher, but I don't know if it's ever gonna happen because I think after this year, Disney can start making them again because the rights will revert back. But I don't know if they're going to do it R-rated for their Disney Plus platform. I would hope they would because, man, like Daredevil's last season was really good. The Punisher, both seasons to me were amazing. Luke Cage was really good. I didn't care too much for Iron Fist, but Jessica Jones was really good too.
I mean, I really liked Iron Fist. I don't know. A lot of people don't like Iron Fist. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
It's boring.
Eh.
The story is like extremely boring.
I don't know. I enjoyed it.
He walks into like a martial arts course, and you already know that he's going to fall in love with the teacher because that's just how it's set up.
I'm sorry, bro. Give me 1 second.
All right. But yeah, man, I don't know. I would just hope that Disney's not afraid to produce good content, even though Iron Fist was boring.
To you.
To a lot of people. That one probably wouldn't get renewed.
Yeah, probably not. But I like how it ended.
Yeah. I'm ashamed that they basically probably knew Luke Cage was going to get canceled because of the whole Disney rights, and they left us with the cliffhanger that happened at the end of his 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So, like I said, hopefully that one comes back when Disney figures out how to get their content for adults out. And maybe it could just go to Hulu, if they decide to do something like that.
That could work.
Say Hulu is for the adults and Disney Plus is strictly for the family content.
Hulu for adults only.
I mean, hey, I'm just saying I think we've talked about it on the show where there's movies and shows like The Wizards of Waverly Place where they literally blur the mom's cleavage on Disney Plus, even though that definitely didn't happen when like they aired the show on their channel.
Yeah, listen, cleavage ain't even bad, dude.
No, no.
Like Disney Plus, afraid of titties. Me, not afraid of titties.
I think they're just afraid of backlash in this new social media world.
But what kind of backlash could you have from showing something that's already aired on on Disney Channel?
I have no idea. I don't know, but that's my opinion. I think Disney's scared of a lot of problems on social media. Like they try to,
Well, there goes my dog. Sorry, people.
hey, but no, I think Disney just tries to avoid all that backlash, even though they clearly don't care anymore about their theme parks because they've got Disney World open back up nearly at full capacity.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, reverting back to the Mandalorian, based off of, so you've seen the Clone Wars and you've obviously about to get your feet set in Rebels, but just based off like the standalone movies like Solo, Rogue One, prequels, and the original trilogy and the sequel, where do you place the Mandalorian? Is it, is it up there with the original trilogy? Uh, I know it's definitely got to be above the prequels.
Um, I don't know. I feel like the Mandalorian, it would have to be in kind of like leagues with Rogue One and Solo. Something that's not that's outside of the regular like Skywalker saga or whatever.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I would put that pretty much right next to Rogue One because Rogue One was amazing.
do you call it 1A or is it below Rogue One?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I would put Rogue One a little bit above it just because just for that one scene of Vader, dude, going absolutely crazy on on those guys.
That's true.
So just that scene alone has it up there.
That's true. We need better villains in the Star Wars universe now. Like, Kylo Ren was basically always destined to turn out good.
Oh yeah.
So, so we never got that full on him killing his own people on the ship or getting really pissed off. I mean, uh, when they went up, when him and Ray had that really big fight together, and he kills God, what's his face? I can't think of his name.
His dad?
No, 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 not his dad. The Emperor.
Oh, you're talking about Snoke.
Yeah, Snoke. Yeah, when he kills Snoke and they get into that fight, that's a pretty good scene.
Oh
But
yeah.
you never really see him going off on like Darth Vader.
It comes in spurts, kinda. I mean, like when the Rise of Skywalker opens and he's just indiscriminately killing and pillaging all these planets.
Yeah,
Like that was amazing. Obviously, that Red Room fight scene was amazing. Uh, him fighting with, I mean, his ex boys in the Rise of Skywalker. That was a good scene.
I mean, I like the Last Jedi scene too, where he's fighting against Anakin.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, the final battle where he gets out of the ship and he's going up against Anakin or Force Anakin.
Or you talking about Luke?
Yeah, yeah, Luke. Sorry.
Oh, I was like,
No,
what you talking about, bro?
yeah, I meant Luke.
Oh yeah, that was really good too.
Yeah,
So I mean, like I feel like Kylo has his moments, but yeah, I feel like he's kind of playing second fiddle to Ray the whole time.
Yeah, he definitely is. That was one thing you could always see coming. That they were basically connected the entire time, which is kind of the same as the previous films. At least the original trilogy, where like Luke and his father are connected like the entire time throughout.
Well, yeah, I mean that's because like that's his whole daddy.
Basically.
They ain't even related at all.
Yeah, but that's how those series go. It's a whole story thing. That's just basically how they set it up.
True, true.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, Mandalorian. It's it's pretty up there for me. I saw some feedback this week where um, people were responding negatively. They're like, "Oh, does he just go to another planet, does a job, and say like basically continues about his business?" And people were like, "No, you obviously haven't been watching this season."
I mean,
So
yeah, I mean he's obviously on a journey to try to deliver Grogu to a Jedi.
right, and like honestly, you could start to see that type of thing happening because he does go to planet and he ends up doing different jobs for people while he's there. Um, in that sense, it does kind of become like formulaic, but formulas work if the characters and story work.
Oh yeah,
Like the reasons why sitcoms like The Goldbergs on ABC start to get worn out is because they do the same things for like 8 years. But if you continue to like flesh it out and do different things, it can run for a long time. And even this series, out of like the 6 episodes they've aired, uh, he's he's definitely more focused on completing this mission of delivering Grogu to the Jedi this season. It's not like he's just wandering planet to planet trying to figure out what to do.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like he definitely has a purpose in this season.
Yeah, that's
But
true. And biggest spoiler. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
do you think that Grogu actually got in touch with a Jedi while he was on that rock?
That's a good question.
And if so, who?
That is a good question. I'm not sure because obviously Ahsoka said she would not train him,
Yeah,
and I'm trying to think of remaining Jedi that would be alive that could pop up and train him.
I mean, pretty much all you got is Luke Skywalker and Ezra from Rebels.
Yeah, and that would basically be it. I don't know. I don't think so. I would say they're teasing it, but if I had to guess, I would say he didn't because they're more so just uh, focused on the relationship between like him and Den.
Yo, what if they go for like a de-age Mark Hamill again and put him in like the last episode?
That'd be really crazy. That would be pretty crazy. But that wouldn't make sense to me, like
No,
continuity
no,
wise,
it
because
wouldn't.
if you bring in Luke, then you're basically retconning the entire new trilogy that you just made. Because everybody would be wondering, where's Grogu?
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like they could figure out something, but it would also be retconning it because technically, right now in the Mandalorian story line timeline in the Star Wars timeline, Luke is training Leia right now.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm saying I don't think they're going for the Luke Skywalker connection.
Yeah, that would be the ultimate dream, but I don't see where they would go with it.
I don't know. And which brings us to the biggest spoiler of Grogu being taken at the end. Do you do you think that him and Din will be reunited by the end of the season, or do we think that the final fight is going to leave in a pretty big cliffhanger?
I don't know. I don't see them doing that, leaving a huge cliffhanger for the next season. I feel like if it will be a cliffhanger, it would kind of be like the one they left it on last season. You
Yep.
know, with Gideon having the dark saber and stuff, and I mean, I feel like this is kind of the formula that shows should follow. Like, set up the problem in like the first few episodes of the season, shake it up really hard right before the end, and at the end, have it definitely not the same as as you left it off the previous season or maybe started it, but still, kind of grounded and kind of happy. You know what I'm saying? Not to leave it on like a huge like what's gonna happen for the next season. You know?
Yeah. And my question is, um, Din should still have his jetpack, right? Because Baba didn't take Din's, and all that happened was Din put his on the ground before the big shootout happened.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. He should still have his jetpack.
Because I didn't see him pick it up to try and get Grogu at the end. Uh,
Yeah, I
so
thought
I
about that too.
I just thought that maybe it just got left in between the fight, and he just tried to run up there. I don't know. I hope he still got his jetpack.
I hope so too.
So hey, who knows? Who knows? We're a bunch of geeks here at Unheard of, but thankfully most of our listeners are too.
We're thankful for our geek fan base.
Might be one or two of them that aren't so much into it as we are, but hey, oh well.
Hopefully they turn it off by now.
That's true.
Or maybe they kept it on and were like, maybe I'll check this out.
Yeah. Oh. Hey. But man, I'll tell you, it's nice to be back. Good to be recording again. And yeah, I'm glad we're back to it. You got any closing thoughts for the week?
All right, closing thoughts. Number one, watch The Mandalorian. Number two, watch The Clone Wars. Number three, I might have had COVID.
Definitely did.
And number four, of course, wear a mask. What about you, man?
Uh, Man, I would just have to say that I've had, excuse me, along with family time, I've had some pretty crazy weeks at work, which, I mean, hey, it's made me realize that you gotta try and be the best at what you do every day because sometimes things may fall in your favor. So, go out here, live life, do your best, and yeah, be safe.
All right.
So,
Well, tell the people where they can find you online, Jay Ray.
well, I'm on the Twitter at Jared Evans. I haven't been doing much tweeting during the holidays. Been pretty bland. I have been staying on Reddit, looking at all my threads, but nope, that's where everybody can find me.
You can find me on Twitter as well at Young without the O underscore ABG. And you can find us together as a podcast and a unit on Twitter at unheard underscore of pod. And it's going to be the same on Instagram and Facebook. Search us up. We'll be there. And YouTube, it's hard to find us there. It's hard to find us there on YouTube. Best thing to do is follow a link that we post to find us
Follow a
on
link.
YouTube.
Follow a link or look up the exact episode title. We've only got about 5 subscribers on YouTube, so we're still new to the game, and surprisingly, there's a lot of people named Unheard of on YouTube, so we're hard to find.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I'm glad to be back. Another week, another episode. Glad that our listeners get to listen to us for another week. So we're back.
There we go. And we are glad to be back. Don't be surprised if we take another week break or so come Christmas time. I think we do a pretty good job of doing our thing every week for you all. So when it comes time to the holidays, you know what? We need our family time as well. So, just to give y'all a heads up, come holiday season, maybe we record one. Maybe we record like a special holiday thing, like a 30-minute episode just to air out for you. But other than that, we'll probably be spending time with our families. And, with all that being said, here's to another week. And we love you, we hear you, and we hope you hear us here at Unheard of. And once again, I'm Jared.
And I'm Arthur. And this was
Unheard of.
Brought to you by
The Big Bass.
Good.